Hello, SYNGAPland. My name is Michael Grale, and this is episode 160 of SYNGAP 10, the SYNGAP 1 podcast. Today is Tuesday, February 4th. And before I tell you about some of the exciting things that have happened, I want to reflect on a conversation I had last week with a family who was diagnosed a few years ago, but their loved one is turning 18, and mom and dad reached out and wanted to connect with the fund because they are still working hard to figure out what they can do to help their kid. And after doing the incredible work with an incredible team of clinicians, and after paying attention to us and watching what SRF is doing, they decided to reach out and say, how can we get involved? And I'm so grateful that they've done that because they are some exceptional parents. One of them was telling me that they heard what I said in my remarks at the conference, and I said, if you're sitting there on the sidelines and you're in the closet, she said I said in the closet. I don't think I said in the closet. Maybe I said, I don't know, who knows what I said. But she said when I said that, it just got her, and she said, no, we have to get involved. So I'm glad I said that, and I'm grateful she was listening because really excited to have these two in the fold. Now, I want to be careful about what I say, but it is sufficient to say they have been through a lot. They have gone to some excellent clinicians. It's clear from the notes I've read that the clinicians care and tried everything. And it's still hard. It's still hard. We know a lot more about SYNGAP today than we did when they were diagnosed. And that is largely in part due to the work of the fund and parents like them getting involved. So please, guys, get involved. If you're sitting on the sidelines, in the closet or whatever, get out and get with us and do it now. Because the more we fight and the more we work, the better it gets for our kids and also all the kids of the families who've gone before us and are going after us. But I just want to, some reminders, okay? Do not wait to travel. If you think travel is vaguely possible with your SYNGAPian, try it. I'm talking road trips. I'm talking trains. I'm talking short flights. You got to give it a try, you guys, because guess what? They get bigger and it gets harder. So the sooner you build familiarity with planes and airports and TSA and all that goodness, the sooner you are able to allow your kid to travel. Because what I've got now with this family is two parents who need to have great clinicians. And I'm like, well, you can go here, here, or here, and I can introduce you. But they're like, we don't want to fly there. And that's a really long drive. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. So if you're holding a cute little SYNGAP and you're like, let's wait to travel until whatever, don't. Travel. Get used to traveling. Figure out how to travel with a SYNGAPian. I realize our kids are highly heterogeneous. These are very, very different. They're not all the same. So with some of our kids, it may actually be impossible, but it's still worth doing. The other thing is don't take, how do I say this politely? Work hard to optimize meds, okay? Some doctors are like, this is it. This is the med you're on. The end. Get another doctor, right? If that med is not working for you, if you're not happy with the meds you're on, if the doctor is not fighting insurance for you and not working and not suggesting, well, this is a better version of that, and Keppra, we can upgrade to this and all the things, seek out more medical care and insist on the best possible meds because our kids are going to be on these meds for life, right? So you've seen our bones issues. If you're on Depakote, you're going to have bone issues. And you need to optimize and get on the best possible cocktail. This family, by the way, is clearly done that. They have gone through a lot. And as I read these notes, I'm like, wow, I hope everybody's working this hard. So that was impressive. The other thing is, don't even try to do this alone. If you're watching this and you've got the siege mentality, which is like a phase we go through, I'm just going to take care of my baby. No one understands my baby but me. We're just going to work this out. Just us. Doesn't work. I don't care how smart you are, how much money you have, how much money you don't have, how strong your community is. I don't care about any of it. You cannot take care of a SYNGAPian alone and keep your sanity. It's not doable. So connect with this community, make friends, pre-register for the conference now, engage in this community to help your loved one and to help yourself. This is a wonderful, healthy, strong community of good people who have been to hell and back and care for each other. And if you're sitting on the sidelines with your popcorn trying to figure out what you need to cherry pick from this conversation to help your kid, but you're not interested in being a part of it, you've missed the point completely. We are here to help each other and to help our loved ones, because we all need help. This disease affects the whole family. And mom and dad also said something that stuck me cold. They're like, well, it's probably too late for insert name here, but we want to make sure we help the other kids. It is not too late for the adults. It is not too late for the adults. It's not. We look at our pipeline. Go to the SRF website, curesyngap1.org, type in pipeline, look at that pipeline. There's at least half a dozen small molecules, and I've lost count of how many precision therapies are under development. We do not, all those precision therapies will upregulate SYNGAP in the brain, right? SYNGAPian brains are incredible. They kept going in spite of not enough SYNGAP, and if you put the SYNGAP back in, a lot of things are going to start happening. Will it be better for the younger ones? Yes. But should we give up on the adults? Absolutely not. Number two, these small molecules we're working on, guys, are amazing, right? Some of the stuff that we're investing in could really change lives. So do not give up on the adults. Get in the game. I don't care how old your SYNGAPian is. There is a lot of good work coming, and we want every single patient to benefit. All right? And then last but not least, and again, this family is a positive example of this. Find good clinicians who are willing to invest in and work hard on your loved one. And if you don't have that, replace them. Go somewhere else. Oh, there's no other good clinician where I live. Move. I don't care. You need good clinicians working on your kid. And that's so important. So anyway, I was really affected by this call. I'm glad that family took the time to talk to me. Let's talk about studies of the week. The FRAZIER study is still recruiting, guys. Get in there. The FRAZIER study, and this is another one. FRAZIER study is the one that throws up a video 15 minutes, and a family said to me this week, well, Mike, our kid doesn't pay attention. Our kid has such cognitive impairment. I just don't think they're going to do anything, so I don't want to mess up the tool. That's exactly the kind of, guess what? Your kid is called a SYNGAPian, and this tool is being optimized for SYNGAPians. We are calibrating it for SYNGAPians. We want to know what a SYNGAPian does and does not look at with this tool. It is a very powerful tool. It measures 11 things: affect, how much you look at faces versus not faces, words versus not words, which words you connect with when the word is spoken. It's really an amazing amount of analysis that's gone into 15 minutes to the testament of Dr. FRAZIER. Please sign up for this study. Don't exclude yourself because you don't think it works. Leave that to Dr. FRAZIER's analysis. Please, we need as many SYNGAPians as possible to take part in this tool. Why does it matter? Because this can be a tool that can be used in clinical trials. Why does that matter? Clinical trials are how we get drugs approved. What will this tool help us do? It will help us say, hey, this SYNGAPian was here, but then after this drug, they got up here. And that's not normal without a drug. So the drug might work. Anyway. Do the FRAZIER study. There's a lot of studies out there. Tracker pages in the show notes. Please sign up for it. I also want to give an advocacy shout out to Sarah Driscoll. Sarah and her husband Jesse East and I think Melissa Smith from Virginia all did a Virginia Rare Disease on the Hill Day, or in Virginia, whatever the capital of Virginia is. I should know that, but I don't. Very cool work, guys. Great job sharing it on social, giving a shout out to your local legislators. This is how it's done, guys. We all need to be, to the extent possible, involved in advocacy. We all need to understand the state of rare disease in our states. You got to figure out the state level and the federal level. And it's good to do state and federal because occasionally one of those might go haywire and then you can focus on the other one. Speaking of federal, there's a regulatory update on February 4th. That is today at 4 p.m. Eastern. So maybe it's too late when you've seen this, but there'll be a recording. It is from our friends at the Epilepsy Action Network, EAN. EAN is trying to roll out a national plan for the epilepsies. What on earth is that? Well, a national plan is basically Congress saying, hey, this is a problem. We got to spend some money on it, right? The big diseases, cancer has a national plan. Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, they all have a national plan. Why doesn't epilepsy have a national plan? And national plans, like everything in a functioning government, if we have one, result in funding. So the Epilepsy Action Network and the National Plan for the Epilepsies is super important. Regulatory update today, 4 p.m. Eastern. Now, speaking of epilepsy, there were some recent comments made by our head of state about FAA and diversity, equity, and inclusion, and he was just rattling on about stuff. But he used the word epilepsy in disparaging tone about DEI efforts, and obviously, as people related to people with seizures and people who understand how horrific epilepsy is as a disease, I'm sure a lot of us sat up straight. But the Epilepsy Foundation shared some remarks about this, which I thought were spot on, and I share links to their comments in all the socials, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, X. Check that out. Give it a read. I think it is really measured and well written, and I was, of course, impressed with how they framed it. But they basically said, that's not cool, and we don't support epilepsy being framed that way. So that's important to note, because all of this DEI stuff, you can be like, oh, Mike, it's just politics. No, it's not politics. Our kids all need that I desperately. And ignoring the I and shoving our kids in corners is the beginning of more bad things. So pay attention, people. A research update. I always like to talk about the research update because numbers are helpful. We have 317 papers on SYNGAP1 according to PubMed. 54 of those were in 2024, which is more than one a week. So we are in week 6. So are we going to have more than one a week this year? Well, we have 7. And by the way, they still don't have the Coller paper in there, which confuses me. 7 papers listed under SYNGAP1 in 2025. That's great news. In spite of all that's going on, papers are still hitting the wire. The James Clement paper is exciting. I share it. It basically notes 2 molecules that Dr. Clement in India has identified that seem to help mice with SYNGAP. So obviously we've reached out to him and we've asked him for his how we can help him go forward there. We have talked to Dr. Clement in the past. It's a little tricky because he's at an Indian university, and when you fund work there's a whole IP issue. But we're looking into it because he seems to be onto something with these 2 molecules, and we would really like to see those get into SYNGAPian. So I also share a link to Dr. Clement's post on LinkedIn where he talks about his paper. Super exciting. Volunteer spotlight. I want to talk about Aaron Harding. I may have mentioned before, but I mean, he is the godfather of SRF. So Aaron is older than me, and I'm pushing 50. I don't know how old Aaron is, but he's not a spring chicken. I'll tell you that. And there's a video about his family. He's an amazing man. In spite of being older than me, he is going to do a 100K race this weekend. 100K. Just thinking about that tires me out. But Aaron's going to do a 100K race this weekend, and he's trying to raise money for SRF. So there's a link in the show notes under Volunteer Spotlight. If you're so inclined, please feel free to donate to Aaron. You can also learn more about Aaron and follow him on the race this weekend. But really, maybe share out that link about Aaron, and I'm sure we'll be making noise about it this week, so that you can let people know, hey, this is a crazy guy running 100K to raise money for SRF. He's a good man. We should support him. So thank you, Aaron, for the tireless work you do for SRF, for your family, and now for this fundraiser. You're really an inspiration. I mentioned the conference at the top. Don't forget to sign up for the conference. We can pre-register now. Mark your calendars now. Start planning a fun weekend in Atlanta, Georgia now. This is when the community comes together, guys, and you are not going to want to miss this year's conference. I can tell you already, there is so much happening. It's going to be a wonderful amount of information, and you don't want to get it at home over the internet. You want to be in a room with other families. You want to be holding hands. You want to be talking. You want to be able to go to the bar afterwards. Please join us at the Atlanta conference, December 4th and 5th. Social media matters. Make sure you're following us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Insta. Like our stuff, repost our stuff, comment on our stuff. That helps the post stay alive. It helps more people see it. It helps more people learn about SRF and thereby SYNGAP1. If you were newly diagnosed and you made it this far, congratulations. We have resources for you on our website, syngap.fund/resources. This is a podcast. The better it's ranked, the more people see it. Give us 5 stars. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. It's going to be an incredible week. There's a lot going on, and we need your help. So support Aaron's fundraiser and consider volunteering with the fund. Thanks so much.